and gentlemen, I got a big black box in the mail. So as you guys know, earlier today, I made a video talking about these black crates that creators were getting. Mine wasn't here yet. I was waiting to get it in the mail. I finally did, and then I was streaming on Twitch trying to solve this Easter egg that was inside the crate. So if you didn't already know, inside the crate, there is a projector with 10 different slides, and different creators got different slides in the mail. And then you had to take those and then solve an Easter egg that involved Black Ops 4 and Summit, and then ended up giving us a reveal date, or what we assume is a reveal date, for Call of Duty 2020. So let me explain these various steps. This is the way that I solved the Easter egg. I did it on stream earlier today. If you want to check it out, my Twitch is linked down below. But this is the first step. So we had this manifesto that all of us were given inside the big crate. And on the right-hand side, there was a list of 15 different slides that you could potentially have. And each creator got 10 of their own. So then what I did is I found all of the slides. I went to various different creators and I got all 15 slides. And essentially, there are 4 different types of slides. The first one is a mini map, as you're seeing here. The second type is what I'm going to call the square letter puzzle. The third type is the circular letter puzzle. And then the final type was the real world maps. And using all of these different puzzles, you put together a bunch of word clues. But first, you had to look at the mini-map. So this mini-map actually brings us to Summit. And the last Black Ops game to have Summit was Black Ops 4. So when you boot up Black Ops 4, you're going to see 2 things right away, and they're 2 additional slides that were not in the black crate that we received. The first of which is the rest of Summit, as you're seeing here. The second one is a 5th map of the real world, and this one is of Tokyo. This is going to come into play in a minute. For the next part of this, you're going to want to go into a custom game inside Summit, and immediately when you go to the middle of the map, you're going to notice that once again in the middle of the map there are some very familiar things looking very similar to some of the slides we saw before. Also, to the right of this, there are 5 clocks, each of which pointing at 3 different numbers. And when we saw before, there were 5 different circle puzzles within the slides that we saw before. On top of this, if you make your way around the map, you will see some very similar numbers to what you see on the real world map slides. Now, each of these numbers is going to be surrounded by a certain color. As you can see, number 2 is yellow and green, number 4 is yellow, number 3 is red, and so on. So you're going to match these colors to the circle puzzles, and then you'll have a number for each circle puzzle. So I know this is kind of a mess, but this is how I did it on the live stream. So the one on the left is the green and yellow. That is number 2. The full yellow is number 4. The single blue is number 5. The red is number 3. And then the double blue is number 1. So as you can see, each of these numbers refer to the slides with the real world location. So number 4 here, we have Moscow. Number 3, we have New York. Number 2, we have Paris. And then finally, number 1, we have London. Now, the other one that we saw in game was Tokyo, and that was number 5. Now, I ended up taking these circle puzzles, putting them beside the proper clock, so number 2 beside Paris, so on and so forth. And for each clock, you get 3 letters, which give you an anagram that translates to Bish you were here. Not wish you were here, bish you were here. So of course with this I had to Google it. I didn't know what it was. I thought it might be a mistake for the Pink Floyd song, but what I found out is that this was actually a chess game that took place in 1972 in the peak of the Cold War with Boris Spassky and Robert James Fisher, aka Bobby Fischer, and this was a huge chess game at the time. And I didn't really know what to do with the Easter egg after this. I was kind of lost. There was certain moves that people were thinking. It just so happens that there is a movie about this chess game that is exactly 115 minutes long, aka the number 115, which is of course huge in zombies. So I was kind of confused with this, but then I remembered that there is some other slides that you can use. So the last thing, or pretty much the last thing you have to do, is actually solve the square word puzzle. And I think this is probably the hardest part. And with this one, you have to take the one slide that you were given, an Instagram post that Treyarch made, and on top of that, the in-game patterns that you find on Summit, and overlay them on these 2 images. So it's kind of hard to tell just because of the opacity on this, but once you put all of this in, it reveals a code, and that code is turn 11 white. So remember how we found a chess game before? Now we got to go back to that chess game and look at turn 11 for white. So basically all you have to do here is play through the game, watch the game happen, or you could look at the moves on an online simulator. And as this game plays out, you wait for white to take their 11th move. And that 11th move is right here, where the white pawn goes ahead and takes the black pawn. Now, at this point, I didn't really know what to do with this. What is the next move? But as it turns out, this ends up being the final clue. And this final clue leaves us to a website. And this website that it's going to take you to is called pawntakespawn.com/TV. Now, there's a lot to break down just in this little website here, but I first have to say I was not actually the first person to complete the Easter egg. Noah J and the Zombies crew were the first people to do it. I was just right behind them. I almost caught up to them at the end, but they finished strong. So I will say I had a lot of fun doing this. It's some of the most fun I had doing an Easter egg in a game in a really long time. But let's talk about what's actually on here. So down in the bottom right hand corner, a time is going to flash over and over again at 12 o'clock. And then eventually a date is going to pop up that is 8/14. So in other words, August 14th at 12 o'clock, something is happening. Whether that's going to be a trailer, a teaser, another Easter egg, at this point, we don't really know. But we do have a little bit of an idea, as I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But this Friday, August 14th at around noon, we don't know what time zone that is, something big is going to be happening. Now, there are some other takeaways from the images that we're seeing on screen here. So first of all, the setting. You have the old-fashioned computer on the right, the older TV in the middle, the old school phone, you have some chess pieces on the left, the old VHS. All of these things are pointing us towards a time period around the 1970s. Also, the chess match that we were talking about before took place in 1972. Now, using Inspect Element on the website, you're actually able to look at some individual pictures and remove the foreground from this website. Now, in doing so, you get to take a better look at what's on the wall. So first off, on the left, you see what appears to be a child's painting with airplanes dropping bombs onto a desert with some vehicles on the ground. Interesting. I don't know what that means. You can have all the speculation in the world. Let me know what you think down in the comments. But more interestingly, off to the right, that is very clearly the Warzone map. And I think the most telling thing there is that the roads actually match the roads that are currently on the Warzone map. And so people actually sent me some tweets, and you can actually add the current Warzone map to this to finish it. And as you can see, the roads on the Warzone map line up perfectly. However, it's not the same map. Now, I know it's blurry and kind of hard to see, but the areas where there is writing on this map right now isn't the same writing that is currently on the Warzone map. First of all, off to the far left-hand side, that's normally where the racetrack is. Normally, no writing on the map whatsoever. It appears as though there is 3 words in that spot with a completely new location. Where hills normally is, it's 2 words. So clearly, the locations have changed, but the shape of the map is the same. So is this what's going to be happening to Warzone once the next Call of Duty game comes out? I don't personally know, but it's certainly interesting. So there are a couple of things that I think this does confirm. First of all, we know something's happening on Friday at noon. We know that for sure. We're not sure what time zone yet, but I'm sure we'll find that out soon. On top of this, I'm pretty sure it confirms the time period of the game. With that chess match being held in 1972 and all of the rumors of this game taking place in the Cold War, that is almost confirmed. On top of that, with all the different teasers and having the map of Summit involved with it, this is definitely going to be another Black Ops game. So I think those are all of the things that this confirms. But the one other thing is something that Noah J tweeted after completing the Easter egg. He said this: "I just heard directly from Activision, what we solved today is just the first step of the Call of Duty 2020 reveal. What comes out on Friday at 12 Eastern Standard Time is just the next part." So it appears as though next Friday is going to be another step of the Easter egg. I don't know whether we're getting a teaser. I don't know whether we're getting a trailer, but definitely something big is happening. And as you guys know, as soon as it happens, I will keep you guys filled in. We'll solve that Easter egg. We'll complete all of these things. And if you want to check it out, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're, of course, going to live stream the Easter egg hunt over on Twitch. So make sure you're following everywhere. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are too. Also, if you enjoyed this video, it's always appreciated if you hit that like button. And if you have any theories as to what's coming on Friday, feel free to let me know down in the comments. But as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, guys, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars.